everybody. I know we could all be enjoying the semi-spring weather, but there are much greater riches inside this evening. First of all, I would like to thank our co-sponsors, the Department of Cultural Anthropology and the Department for the Study of Religion, who have supported the Sacred Arts of the Black Atlantic Project during the past 4 lectures of this series. Our first visitor was Senor Esteban Quintana, an Afro-Cuban priest of Santeria or Lucumi, also known as Regla de Ocha. He came and talked about the coronation of the poor, the upward social mobility of people and things in Cuban American Ocha. He also led a ritual at my house in which he created 4 gods that I'm proud to take care of now. Then there was Marie-Maude Evans, who is a member of Haitian Vodou, whose temples are in Jacmel, Haiti, and Mattapan, Massachusetts. And she addressed the Black Lady and the White Lady, 2 goddesses embodied in Haitian women's lives. And next came Hamilton Sacramento Costa, a priest of Afro-Cuban Candomblé, and he talked about man in the city of women, the iconography and the autobiography of gender in Candomblé. And all of them led rituals at my house on the following Saturdays, which were really fun. And any of you who would like to join us for this coming Saturday's ritual will also be welcome at my home. Today it's a great honor to introduce the best-known priestess of Yoruba traditional religion in Nigeria, and the commander and protector of the most beautiful and extensive shrine complex in Nigeria, in the city of Oshogbo. Her name is Talabi Adedoyin Faniyi, but we call her Iya Oshun, mother or senior woman of Oshun, because she is the head priestess of the goddess Oshun, a goddess of the river Oshun, of brass, of honey, of love, and of beauty. Oshun, like Shango, together have produced probably the most elaborate and extensive body of artwork of any of the Orisha traditions in the Americas and in Nigeria. But the Oshogbo complex has continued to innovate that artistic tradition, particularly since the entry of Mama Zuzana Venga, also known as Aduni Olorisha, an Austrian woman who left Europe disgusted with the state of European culture after World War II, and decided to move to Nigeria, where she and her husband, German artist Ulibaya, founded an art school in Oshogbo that's contiguous with the shrine complex, and they've produced fantastically innovative and beautiful art. They've preserved older artistic traditions in cloth design and in metalwork that have died elsewhere in Nigeria. So it's a great honor to have her daughter, Ms. Faniyi, or Iya Oshun, with us to discuss the king's wives, gender and wealth in Orisha iconography. Please welcome Iya Oshun. So I'll be giving Iya Oshun a few prompts related to the objects. So first, Iya Oshun, would you be kind enough to tell us about of the Yoruba palace in modern Nigeria, and how the king and his wives matter in the functioning of the palace?
Good evening. Yes. Before I start, I pay homage to the spirit of ancestors that they are able to bring us together today for this lecture.
That's it.
Thank you. Kings.
And we must salute Eshu.
Yes, Eshu is also there. And also Eshu, Elegbara, Ladu Obioko. And we want Eshu to stay in front, not to stay at the back of what we are trying to do, because Eshu is the one who monitors everything. So for for him, we put his awareness to let everything be good. Okay.
Gotcha.
So, in Yoruba tradition, the kings, they play important role. They are addressed as Oba Alashe Keji Orisha, king the second in command to Orisha. And the king in the community represents the leader of the community. And if there is any problem in the community, everybody will run to the palace to say, okay, how are we to address the issue? So they are the leader of the community, and they personify the Orisha of that community. Any Orisha tradition in community, the king is the custodian, and the palace is designed to be big, and the wives of the king, they play important role in the administration of the community. Though there is an adage which says there is no honor for the king without Olori. Olori is the wife of the king. In quote, Olori or Ayaba, that's the name for the wife of the king, and they also administer the tradition of the community supporting the king. So they do play important role. As for Orisha, most Orisha, they were king also. And in this sense, it's important aspect that the king's wife, they do support the husband in the administration of the community. And they do everything in traditional way. That's how it goes with the role of king's wife.
You were sharing with me earlier that there are different kinds of wealth in Yoruba land. Could you share that with the audience?
Yes, when we say wealth, wealth is an important thing. That is called Ola, and Ola is honor.
Those are two different tonal patterns, in case you didn't hear. Ola is honor, and Ola is wealth.
So it's important in the life, because when we say the Orishas, they are wealthy, because wealth, it's also important in everyday life, but sometimes it's not matter how much money one has that determines the wealth. One may not have much, but the person can still be wealthy. I will say with the issue of a priest of Shango who has this regalia, even as it is, it's wealthy. And the celebrations that go with that, it's, it will be going for many days with food, partying, and this will be done every year. One will imagine how we won't get the money for it, but it will happen. So that's also aspect of wealth, that wealth is being respected. There is respect for wealth, and there is adage which says that the voice of the poor is being slashed by broken wall. You know that it's an adage, but with the wealth, it makes things, one will be able to acquire and do what is needed in the society. So for an Olorisha, one may not be rich and one can still be wealthy. So that is how it is with the wealth in Orisha, because of the organization or how the thing is being administered traditionally. So that has to do with that. And when we talk of wealth, there is Orisha in charge of wealth called Aje. Aje is in charge of money, in charge of wealth. And Aje is being respected. One time, all the Orisha, they deserted her, but after a while, they see that they could not perform anything without Aje. So, and later, they come back to put Aje closer, because with Aje, they could do the ritual. With Aje, they can manage everything. So, Aje on her own is very important, because one cannot do anything without using the means of Aje. So Aje as an Orisha
is... Can sit over here so you'll be able to see.
Aje as Orisha is part of spiritual communication as well. That with Aje, one can make things possible. So that is how it is with Aje. Aje is a female deity, and Aje plays an important role in the life of woman and also in the life of Orisha.
She's one of the wives of Ifa, right?
Aje in Ejiogbe, the verse of Ifa that plays Aje as the Orunmila made the divination for improvement of his condition, and the ritual is supposed to be performed, and also to give e-goats to a shoe. He performed the ritual, he did not give goats to a shoe. But Aje, the princess of King of Ibene, Okun, the princess of King of Irada, Ide, the princess of King of Ikopa, three of them, they decided to marry one man, and that's Orunmila. So with Aje moves with wealth, very wealthy, and three of them, they have blessings with them.
Okun is a bead, right?
Yes, a valuable bead, which is aspect of wealth as well.
And Ide?
Yes, and Ide, that's also valuable thing. And three of them, they traveled far by trekking, and they got to the house of Orunmila. But Eshu, on the other hand, as you could see him, he has front eyes and then the back eye. Yes, he saw them coming, and he stood there, and they asked that they were looking for Orunmila. So Eshu said Orunmila has traveled. Meanwhile, he was inside. So, and then they said, we will wait for him. Three of them were tired, and he said, no, you cannot wait. It will take him long to come back. So that's how they left. But they left far And he went back to Oromila that 3 visitors were looking for you. I said you traveled because you made the ritual and you didn't give my he-goat, so that I diverted your blessings. So then Oromila quickly looked for he-goat and gave him. So then there used to be spiritual form of chant to call them, but they traveled far already and they decided to come back, but not 3 of them at the same time before. Aje came first, then Okon came second, and they took the 3rd one to come. You know, it took her a long time to come back because they were all tired. So in this sense, when this Odu comes out, it is not proper to leave any part of the ritual not to be done, because that for not to divert the blessings coming to somebody's way.
So the last blessing to come was Ide?
Yes, Ide came last.
And that's brass, right?
Yes, but it came not at the same time like that, but long, that Oromila waited anxiously for long before she could come back.
And does the fact that Ide came last, and Ide is Oshun's medal, does that mean anything?
You know, what it meant is that it took that, she put Oromila in anxiety for a long time. That when will she come? When will she come? But she came at last.
The best for last. Okay. So what does that story teach us? What is the moral of that story?
The moral there is that not to leave any stone unturned. You know, if you have to do things, do it properly. Don't do it partly, because the small part that one left behind might be the one that will bring more blessings. So that's the lesson, that to do things in proper way that's supposed to be.
And as an outsider, what stands out for me is that wealth came in the form of 3 wives. Wealth is wives. What do you think of that?
Yes, 3 of them, because being princesses, you know, they are with wealth. And 3 of them decided to stay with one man. You know, they came with their wealth. So that will help him to improve. But because of this diversion, it took everything long to come together, back together.
There are a lot of stories about Ifa starting out with not enough wealth, and yet by acting the right way, he gained wealth, often in the form of wives. Can you tell the story of the Aquitania?
Yes, Aquitania, it's another story relating to how the wife of Ifa priest is called Aquitania, because Oromila met a woman who suffered from leprosy. And they were together, she was pregnant, and Oromila left. Though, due to the nature of his profession, you know, they will call him all over, that come and do divination for me, and that's how he left. But the things were not going well with him. And the divine, they said, you left, you have offended somebody, you should go back to ask for forgiveness. So he came back to the lady with the leprosy, and when the lady gave birth to the child, with ritual done, the leprosy disappeared. And this woman said any wife of Ifa priest will be called Akpa Etebi, that the one that through giving birth cured the sickness of leprosy. So that's the name of all Ifa priest wives today. That's their title, the Akpa Etebi. So that is how it goes with that, and through that the woman gets cured, and Oromila's life also started coming back to normal.
I can't help but ask you to tell one further story about Ifa before you talk about his beautiful sacred paraphernalia. It's the story of the origin of the name of the word Iyawo. This is my own wife's favorite story.
Yes, this verse of Odu comes from Ogbeyono, that states that when Orunmila made the divination in another way, Orunmila got a lot of adventures, and the reading said he should travel to the town called Igbo, and getting there he should be fetching firewood for living. So he would go to the forest to get the firewood, and that's what he was using to make the living. And one day he gathered the firewood, and he couldn't find the firewood, and he traced that to the palace of the king. Somebody told him, and he went to the king's palace.
So someone had stolen his firewood.
Yes, and they said it's the daughter of the king, who was very, very ill, that they should use firewood to make ritual for her. And they asked him for divination, and he said they should let this daughter marry the priest. So when the ritual was performed, the daughter of the king was elderly, and the king asked her to marry Orunmila. So she stayed there, but she did all what she could do to provoke him, to the point of using the object of divination even to cook, to put in fire. She did that for almost 2 years, but Orunmila would not talk, and he would not react. Then, after 2 years, this princess went back to the father, that she did everything to provoke this man, but he wouldn't react or get annoyed with her. And the father said, you should be well with him, because first, when you were at the point of death, they took all his firewood to help you out, and then the priest came back to do the divination and reading for you, so that because of your life, be well with him. And the father gave the advice, and the father put it that from that moment the bride will be calling Iyawo, meaning the sovereign in the water. That is what the name of the bride will be. That is how it comes with Iyawo, meaning the bride's name. And even when one is about to be initiated or newly initiated person will be called Iyawo. You know, it's like the sovereign of Iwo. And the king let her know, you know, that this sovereign, this verse is what, when we have any marriage ceremony, is what we use to guide the couple. That, you know, when we say love is full of roses, or it is laced with vinegar, so that it's not that one should have endurance in marriage. So that's the lesson we learn from that Yahoo.
Thank you, Iya. Would you talk to us about the Okwafa and the Iroquois? I think there are even images of married people on it.
Yeah. Yes, when we see the Okwafa, you know, the first thing to notice is the height. That's the height of a shoe. Because in every ritual is present to see. So it's looking the way you are, the way the ritual is being performed. So that's the height of a shoe here. And then the object of sacrifice. So that is how it is, and is the icon that is being used to perform the ritual and divination. And during the process of ritual, the priest may have to tap that, you know, that you are seeing it, you know, putting the attention to invoke the spiritual energy is during the time. And this is object of divination for Ifa is called Opele. This one is called Okma Ifa divination tree. And Opele is object of divination. With it, there will be name of 16 major Odu and 240 minor, making 256. And in Ifa tradition, there are not many women because it has to do with a lot of reciting the Odus and with women's life. When the woman is married, the pregnancy period, childbearing, taking care of the children, it's part of it. But there are some women that they could engage because we had some priests that very good, but when they only have female children, so there's no way they will not want to go with their knowledge. So one way or the other, they put the application for that, but it's a lot to memorize with that. And Opele is very, very valuable object of divination. You know, in terms of cosmology, with that one foresees what is coming in the future of divination.
And if you don't mind my elaborating, y'all, you feel it like this. Like that?
The other way.
The other way, okay. And then these are palm kernel shells, and depending on which ones are upward and which ones are downward, you get one of 256 permutations, each of which corresponds to one of the stories that she was telling us, the Odu. And each Odu has multiple stories and poems and songs in it, right?
Yeah.
Why 256?
Because a permutation of 8 objects that have a binary nature will be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times, up to the 8th power, right?
Right. 2 to the 8th power.
2 to the 8th power. Yeah, 2 to the 8th power. Yeah. Could you talk to us about the necklace?
Yes. This is also important necklace of Ifa. In the initiation of Ifa, or when there is ceremony, this is being used. It's really, really, really very important, and it's attached to the song that the death will not kill somebody who put this on the neck. So it's important. And in the object you could see the different aspects of other Orisha in that. Like this is for Shango, this is for Orunmila, this is for Obatala, the Oya is there, Alajere is there, as well as Oloko and the Yemaja. This shows that the Orisha, they work hand in hand. They work together to make the life better for humanity. So that is the purpose of this. And you know, this is very, very good and valuable bits now. We don't have much of them like this.
The Germans had this one before I got it. The Germans had this one before I got it. So is this the necklace that the Iyawo Ifa wears?
Yes, during the time of initiation, and when there is any ceremony, annual ceremony, they put this on.
So Iyawo, which means bride, is also what the initiate of Ifa, or the divination god, wears during his or her initiation. So Yashu, I'll take this opportunity to segue into the most important goddess of today, and that is Oshun. Ori-Yiyo. Everybody say Ori-Yiyo. We greet you, Mother. So you were sharing with me, as we looked at these objects related to the worship of Oshun, that Oshun has 2 sides, a hot side and a cold side, and a cool side. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah.
Could you talk to us about which of these objects represent her cool side and why, and which represent her hot side and why? And any other stories you might tell us about those sides?
Yes, Oshun plays an important role among the Orishas, because the Orisha, they were descending in 16 in numbers, but the first set came 17, and Oshun is the 17th one, 17th Orisha with them. But when they got to the earth, they couldn't make life better because all others were men and they did not put awareness. They went back to Olodumare that they couldn't make life, and Olodumare asked them about Oshun. They said being a woman, and Olodumare told them to go back and put awareness in everything they are doing. So since then, everything gets better. So that is how Oshun plays a major role in the life of humanity. When we are starting making the ritual, it starts with Odu of Oshun, Osetura, and it ends It was set right there. So awareness will be put in the beginning and at the end of the rituals. So to say that if awareness is not there, it will not be proper for what is being done. You know, it's long verse, but because we still have many things to talk, and the idea of male and female dimension in Oshun, likewise other Orisha, shows the element of balance. That with that, because we have the aspect of Oshun, which is very strong, and the aspect that is cool. So
May I just clarify that you're saying that among the first 17 Orisha to come to Earth, Oshun was the only female, is that correct?
Yeah.
But the male Orisha tried to leave her out.
Yeah.
So even though she's female, she is extremely important. You can't leave her out. And she's female, but she also has a male side.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
So with that, when we hold this, she loves Fan. So, and also it goes like this. But with Fan, Fan stands for cooling. But when it comes to when it will be hard, it's like this. But Oshun is a mother that cares for children, and she hardly sleeps because we have one of her names, Oshun Olomayoyo, that the mother of many children, because the children are always around her. She cares a lot, and that shows in the festival of Oshun. It will be many huge crowd coming for the festival. That shows how much her children are. So, and the male aspect or male dimension of Oshun, we have that river that when one sees that it's very strong and it moves out. So that is how it goes with the fan and the sword of Oshun. This and this have the same purpose.
So the fans represent her female aspect, which is cool and calm. And these are also fans too, right?
Yes.
Whereas the sword, and this is Ida, and that means sword.
Ida.
And this is also Ida. So those are her swords, which represent her male aspect.
Yeah. And also these beads. It's, in general, yellow is the bead for Oshun. But dimensionally, there are other colors associating with it, like this green and other different kinds of beads for her. So, but with this one, it's also own part of our own attribute. Like when the sand moves like water, you know, it's when the river is moving, that's the typical sound of this. And that is to show that how the river movement is with her. This is also important object in Oshun, the bell. You know, the bell is, so that's to invoke her spiritual energy. And the bell will be, this is female there with the baby, and the bell can be male object on it to show that she has both male and female dimensions. So that's how it is with Oshun. Maybe when we talk of each, if there's any question, or should we continue like that?
Well, we were just going to cover 2 more points and then open it up for discussion. I should have mentioned the old money after we mentioned Ajay. You were teaching me, Yashun, that there's a reason that there's so much old money on Orisha paraphernalia.
Yes, that's sort of Ajay form of communication, but when the money is no more in use, it's being used for spiritual purposes. So that's part of this. Yes.
Those are colonial era coins.
Yes. Then they are more stronger spiritually in use. And for that sense, we use them for ritualistic and spiritual purposes.
And we use cowries for the same reason?
Yes, we use the same thing. Because they are sort of communication, and the cowries, they are also aspect of divination. We use cowries to divine, to know it serves the same purpose as the Opele. But when it comes to cowries, because the Olodumare asked all Orisha when they started making the life, and Olodumare asked them to bring the pouch of wisdom. He threw it on the earth, but Oshun that firstly got it. Oshun also had the divination. She made the ritual, but they asked her to use the dress for ritual.
To sacrifice her dress?
Yes, to sacrifice, but she didn't do that sacrifice. But she found the pouch of wisdom, the bag of wisdom, and she was running and found it. And when they got to Olofin, she got it, everybody got to know, but she couldn't find it. Orunmila was coming from the back and got it. The rat has eaten the pocket, and this pouch dropped off her. So with that, that's how Orunmila has the pouch of wisdom, and that's how he's dealing with cosmology of the people. But instead, they gave Oshun the 16 cowrie, that with that she could communicate spiritually in terms of cosmology. And the 16 cowries is also important object of divination. So Oshun is using that, except if out of over 400 Orisha, they are using cowries. It's only Father is using this. All other Orisha, they use cowries for divination.
So, are they useful in divination because they were money? Is there a connection?
No, the aspect of divination came before, because that is when it's only Orisha living on the earth. Yeah. So, and with the wisdom she got, that's how she also started with divination, and all other Orishas too, they are on 16 cowries.
So Oshun was teaching me that Oshun had 2 husbands over the course of her life. One was Orunmila, or Ifa, and the other was Shango. And Oshun is a woman who has a male aspect, but Shango is a man who has a female aspect. Could you talk to us about these sacred objects and how they show Shango's male and female aspects?
Yes. Shango, Kabiesio.
Kabiesile. Salute everybody. Kabiesile.
Shango is very, very, very strong Orisha. You know, if Shango would talk, the fire will be coming out, and you could see with thunderstorm, Shango is in charge of thunder, lightning, and fire. So, and that is true, you know, he's very strong and always temperamental, but the way of his dressing is feminine. And even the hairdo, you know, that it's like cooling him down. Like when a child is born, when the child is female, we say, Owero, it means the hand of softness. So that really, you know, it's part of cooling him down for him to dress in this form with the wowo. This is dress of mourning, full of cowries and this is traditional form of hairstyle, and it's always in skirt. Though there is another skirt under, and then there is also the pant made of cowries.
Can we show them that?
Yes, it's also cowries.
Those are called digo.
Yes, the name Digo.
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 And what is the pink skirt called?
Yes, Yen.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's another thing.
Those are traditionally women's undergarment, right?
Yes. And also Wabi. Wabi is aspect of Shango's care. You know, and for him, he could go with 8 pieces like this, that you put another one, and it's heavy. But when Shango is in trance, he moves and everybody will be running after him. Even despite, if you can feel it, it has weight. Even the butt.
This is
that
heavy too.
is,
It's tiring
yes.
on my arm.
It's like that shit.
But when he has it, it moves fast. And he danced hard with it, and with that, then that's when he could perform. You know, it's different kinds of performing that people may not be able to stand it. You know, there are things when they have this, you know, they can cut the tongue. And you see the blood and they show you like this, you know, and it is highly spiritual, this form of outfit.
So do those violent looking forms of miracle, or does that manifest his male aspect?
No, it's miracle. That is how he is. It's form of entertainment for him. You know that, you know, they will shoot him, you see the bullet, and it will be, the priest will be removing that. You know, it's very, very strong spiritually with Shango. And this aspect of Aremano, the Shegi bead, it's another valuable bead that all the Orishas they use for the neck. The priests and priestesses of Orisha uses this for the neck, or it has highly spiritual impact in the dressing.
Why does he like cowrie shells so much?
And that's, it's for him like this. You know, like we have one song for him, Oba Koso Oni Bante Owo Jingbeni. You know that Oba Koso, the one with full of cowrie dress.
Which is the bante? Is that the wabi?
Yes, the wadi.
That's the same as bante.
Yes, as bante of money, and then the dress as well. And Oshe is what the staff that Shango carries always with him.
And it represents thunderbolts, right? It represents thunderbolts, right?
Yes, the Oshe could be in different form, like you see this with the female figure and this with the abstract design. So it could be in any form, but double art style. Shango always use that. And this is called shere. Shango used shere in one hand and this one, holding them like that. That's how it is. And when we are doing ceremony for Shango, the shere will be like this.
It looks like Ekwa and Oko. Is that intentional?
That is important. And there are different kinds of piano for Shango. It could be this, but this is very, very old and very traditional style. This one too, but only the initiate priest can wear this form of hairdo. But non-initiate can also do this. It's called shuku because we have different form of hairstyles traditionally for Orisha. So this is shuku, that everything goes in front. And this one is kulese, that it doesn't have feet. It doesn't have feet because all goes back. So it's another form of hairdo that the priests and priestesses wear.
And this one is called agogo.
Agogo is the name of this, which is meant for only the initiate.
In the olden days, did they wear this during weddings especially?
In some areas, but the way we do the one for spiritual thing is different from that of the wedding.
I used to think that Shango dressed sort of like a female for the same reason the initiate is called Yawo, that it's because, in a way, this being is the wife of the god. Is that true or no?
It's not even for Ifa. Ifa as male. When the initiate of Ifa will also be called the Yawo. So Yawo is Yawo has no gender in terms of the bride of Orisha when it comes to initiation. So for Shango or other Orishas, it will be called the Yawo in terms of getting the initiation done.
So why does the Yawo Shango, even when male, wear women's clothes?
Yes, because Shango is always dressing in female dress, and the devotees of Shango, either male or female, they are the same in presence of Shango. To Shango, Shango sees female devotee and male devotee as the same. So for that reason, the initiate Shango, male and female, they should not marry, because to Shango it's the same gender. Yes, and so they should. Yes, they should not marry.
Never married?
Yes, the initiate.
Yeah, I understand.
The one,
They should never marry each other.
Each other.
Yes.
Not married at all. I thought she meant not married.
No, they should not marry each other.
Okay. Okay, okay,
The
I was like, whoa.
companion, yes.
Okay, thank you. That makes
Yes,
sense.
because Shango, it's the same sex. They are the same
Right.
to him. So that is. But there is difference between Elegun and Magba. The Elegun, the one who performed the ritual, they are the one we are talking
Who
about.
gets possessed.
Yes, the female Elegun and male Elegun should not marry. So that is.
And the Mogba is the person who initiates possession priests, right?
Yes.
Does
and
not get
who is-
possessed.
Yes, they are not yet possessed. So that is the.
So just to summarize, we talked about the king and his wives in the palace, about Ifa and his wives, about Oshun, the wife of Ifa, who also has a male aspect, and about Shango, who was a later husband of Oshun's, a male god with a female aspect. So with that, shall we open the floor for questions and discussion?
Okay.
Thank you, Yalshin. Oh yes, Yalshin would like to talk about the Ileoli. I mean, whenever you all want to ask questions, fire away. But in that, okay.
I just wanted to know how many wives can the king have?
King.
How many wives?
There is no limited.
Okay.
There is no limited number for the king.
It is for women.
But the king, maybe the king can have one wife before getting to the throne. But it is not fair for tradition for king to have only one wife. It's not possible.
And it's so important for him to have a wife. Did you want to tell the story about Arni? Oh, sorry. Okay.
But the king should have wife. There is a saying that there is no respect for the king without wife. King can have wife before ascending the throne, but wives after.
And the Babalawo must have a wife also, right? The priest of Ifa.
There is no restriction. Babalawo can do with one or many.
Okay.
But there are cases, like there are people, maybe, for example, maybe somebody's in sickness and they say, okay, the person will be in process of getting spiritual treatment for life. So in that, the family can say, okay, they give the kind of woman to Babalawo to marry, and he will be able to help her out. So, and this can come but maybe during the yearly divination it comes to that, okay, there is somebody coming he should marry, and they could not say no. And when the child is born, on the third day there will be divination done, and when they say this will be the wife of Ifa priest, and as the girl is growing, getting to puberty, then they will know which priest. And if the divination points to the one who has already with wife, the priest will not say no. So there are different circumstances surrounding it.
Does a female Babalawo need a wife? A wife. Does she a wife?
A female
Babalawo. A male Babalawo needs Akwetebi, a wife who can assist him in the rituals, right? So does a female babalawo also need Aquitania?
No,
A wife.
female babalawo will have husband.
So who will assist her in the rituals? A husband?
No, the Aquitania, they have their duty in the household as wife of the priest, but not engaging in ritual. No,
okay.
it will be there will be students, Omawo, who will help him.
The reason I asked is that in Cuba, the Aquitania is not necessarily the babalawo's wife, but it's a woman who's always a daughter of Oshun, who must assist him in everything. The babalawo there cannot work without an Aquitania.
The Aquitania is the wife of Omula. So they are wives and they have their duty, but the children of other priests will be there to help. You know, they learn under the Babalawo and they are the one to help spiritually the priest. And the aspect of Ori is the king of the body. This is the symbol of Ori, and everyone has one. When the child is born, on the third day there will be divination to know which destiny for this child. And if the negative is 70% and positive is 30%, from that moment on, they will be starting to redress it, at least to balance it to 60-40. So, because with the destiny, there is different destiny that everyone has chosen. But on the third day divination, when the child is born, they will get to know more about the destiny of the child. And Ori is important that this icon takes care of spiritual head. We have two heads. This is physical, but when we talk of initiation or when one is making ritual, you are dealing with your inner and spiritual head. So that's what this symbol symbolizes. You know, Ori is always well dressed, well knit, you know, and with that we have peace to the Ori, not to take the negative message for individual. So this is the symbol of Ori.
Why are there so many cowries on it?
Yes, it's the important. It could be bigger than this, but the minimum of 51, 101, 200, you know, it go, but one should be on top. It should be as many as possible, but you know, it should be finely made, because the cowrie has a lot of spiritual importance. So that's why it's being used for Ori icon.
And the spiritual importance derives from its having been money as well as being a tool of communication with the gods?
Yes. So that's how it is. Yes.
On the third day, is it determined which Orisha a child belongs to, or does that happen later with their initiates?
Yes, on the third day, there are children born that the same day they know which Orisha. Like if the child is born with the sack, you know, in the sack, you know that this is Obatala child. You know, but still there will be divination to know more about the destiny of this child on the third day. And if child has the cord around his or her hand, they know this child belongs to a local. So from then, they know the Orisha. But on the third day, they will still do the divination. We call that divination esentaye, that the feet that the child brought to life. So it's to know about the destiny of the child. There will be divination for the head of the child and then the feet. Because in life, we have our destiny with the head, and it's with feet that we will walk to where we have our achievement, or where. So it's important object, the head and the feet. So when one can have good head, good destiny, but if the feet is bad, then that will mislead the person to where the person will just miss the destiny. So from the third day ritual, one will be trying to maintain the balance. That, okay, when you have good head, you should have good feet. So this is important in the spirituality, because we use our feet to get to where we have the goal. So that's very important.
So in passing, we've talked about women as wives a good deal, and we haven't talked as much about women as mothers. We know that Oshun is but there is another aspect of her that you taught me about today that's related to our glorious, wonderful, beautiful, fantastic Yahweh. Would you mind telling us a bit about that aspect of Oshun?
Yes, Oshun, being mother, loves children a lot, and charming, lovely, and today when we talked about the issue of Yame, you know, it's part of our attribute that is the aspect of caring, that when we say Yame, it is abusive word to say witch, or, you know, but it's Yame, or the elders, because with that they have keys to life. Life in the sense that to openings. So that is, it's because of caring for children that is also involved.
We're speaking somewhat indirectly because some of the fantastic, wonderful women do not like to be talked about a great deal. But I had intended to bring a staff that shows the birds that the Olasain, or herbal healer, uses, and these mothers cooperate with the herbal healer and empower him to heal. And their efforts in his project are represented usually by 16 birds surrounding a staff with one bird at the top. Would you like to share what that symbolism means, Yalshu?
Yes, the birds on outside staff, they are birds of life, and also is in charge of herbs and medicine. And with that, with those birds, that's what also is using spiritually for curing diseases, and as well as herbs. And the Yame, they are giving him support to be able to use their energies to help people in healing.
And do the 16 birds represent the Yami?
They are, with that, the forces, negatively or positively, they are in the here, in this space, and they operate in space. So that's the significance of the birds. When they want to operate, they go in space, and with that, they can do and undo. But traditionally, we pay homage to them, we appease to them that they should put the positive side to us. So they are helping us to heal people with the spiritual energy they are giving him.
So is the bird at the top, is that Osai? Or whom does that bird represent?
Yes, put together. Yes, it's joint energy that they are giving in that sense. Like I was telling that my sister went for a program in Brazil, and they invited different priestesses, and they asked the question about Iyame. And this priestess said, no, we don't engage, they are bad, they are devil. And then when they asked my sister said, we pay respect to them. The priest, the herbalist, or anybody engaging in spiritual healing wake up to ask for their favor. So that's how she addressed. And the morning session of the conference. For the evening session of the conference, this woman said, devil, they are this, was already in ambulance. And she could not attend any part of the conference till they left. It's from hospital to the airport. So you see there how it is. Even with talking like this, they showed their energy present. Next time she wouldn't dare to accuse them like that.
Well, with that warning, we give a round of applause to y'all. Thank you. So feel free.
Okay, I have one more question. How does Oshun have two husbands? And you said she had two husbands at one time?
No, not at the time.
No, not at the same time, but...
Yeah, when we talk of husband, it's in spiritual life. Not physically like wedding or this.
Okay.
But it's, they have, each Orisha, they have their assignment. And they deal with nature. With nature, we can have the balance. Like each Orisha, they are assigned to the natural forces, like Oshun for the water, Shango for the fire, Ogun for iron. They
What is
have
Orunmila's natural force?
wisdom. Yes, it's wisdom. It's like for divination, the oracle. For him, everything is with divination, rituals, that's its own.
And that's nature? It's part of nature?
Yes, because every Orisha, they also need to know how to, okay, I'm traveling, C for me is the road clear. So something like this. So it's in the wisdom that the whole philosophy of the Orisha tradition is in.
So was Orunmila Oshun's first husband, and then Shango became her husband after she left Orunmila, or how did it work?
Yeah, you know, when we talk of that, like first for Shango and later to Orunmila, and Oya was Ogun's first wife before marrying to Shango. So, but that is in quote, in spirit life, not like physical marriage as it is now, but in that sense.
So is there some? Oh, sorry.
And Yemaja is also spiritual mother of Shango.
So does that imply something about the relationship between lightning and rivers?
You mean for?
Okay, Shango is the child of one river and the wife of another river. Does this way of talking spiritually imply that there's a relationship between rivers and the thunder and lightning?
Even Oya also has, Oya is also a river goddess. In Nigeria, Oya has the biggest river, River Niger. Yes, we call that Oya, it's on the north. But the aspect of the river is different. Like Oshun goes like this, land, but Yemaja River is straight to the sea. So that's why where, you know, there used to be argument because some people said that Yemaja is sea goddess. Some say it's river. It's river, but it goes straight to the sea. So both is right. For Oshun, it goes round, you know, she moves, curve like this, but that's the difference.
What about Olokun? Nobody ever talks about, I know very little.
Yes, Olokun is sea and ocean goddess.
And she's the same as Ajit, right?
No, Aje Olokun, Aje,
Oh.
there is much similarity in them. You know, and Olokun is for the sea. And Olokun stands on her own, you know, Olokun does not relate as other Orisha relates to each or one another. And yes, and Olokun is also very, very big and mighty Orisha. And Orunmila, it's the place where Orunmila will go on spiritual errand that he will stay long there. You know, like back to my the story of the first Odu, and when these three princesses asked for Orunmila, and they should said he went to Olokun, you know, and that is to show there is no definite time to come back, it will be long. So that's how Olokun is in charge of sea and ocean. And also Oke is in charge of mountain and hills.
What is the difference between Ajay and Olokun?
Olokun is like the mother to Ajay,
Okay.
but they have much of similarities together.
Yeah. I'm at a point that might be of interest to you, or you could help me figure it out. when an anthropologist hears Oshun, well, this anthropologist, Oshun is the wife of Orunmila, and then became the wife of Shango, and that Shango has 3 wives who are rivers. Oba is also his wife, right? And is Oya also his wife?
The favorite wife.
Yeah, so he's got all of these wives that are rivers. I think to myself, what is that saying metaphorically about the relationship between thunder and lightning and rivers? But you notice from the expert priestess, it doesn't mean that. It's not about that at all. Did you remember the questions I was asking? And there was no such implication for her. And likewise, like the wifely dress of Shango, what does this mean about the relationship between the priest and the god? And so our way of approaching the interpretation of these things is really different from a priestess's. And I'm trying to figure out how stories and spiritual kinship has implications for the world, and the logic of how it does have implications in the world doesn't translate necessarily between Western and African thinking, or academic and priestly thinking.
But wouldn't you also think that that it's rain, being thunder and lightning, rain, and then it supplies all the rivers, for the waters?
Exactly.
Oh, so there is a connection. Okay. Right. That's what I would have guessed too, but when I asked, that wasn't Oshun's automatic way of thinking.
Exactly.
Then they evaporate back up into
Exactly.
But what about wisdom and rivers? Wisdom and Oshun?
Well, they think the beginning of all life is in the deepest parts of the ocean, where the bacteria they find anaerobic life. You're a scientist, you probably know. So that would be Olokun, which is one of the oldest, which makes total sense.
That wisdom would be associated with Oshun because of the
Well, no, I'm
bacteria.
talking about water now.
Oh, water
The
generally.
deepest of waters has been one of the oldest. The Olokun, and they're saying that, scientifically speaking, that the source of life may have come from the deepest part. They still find anaerobic life there. One of the oldest forms of life.
Yes, everywhere was liquid water before, and Olodumare gave a calabash with objects of sand and 5-legged hen, then chameleon and pigeon. So as they put that sand, the hen and the pigeon was spreading it, and the heart became solid. And it's the chameleon that firstly stepped on the heart. To see, chameleon is walked slowly and gently. So to see how strong they have, and then the first set of Orisha came down to the earth. And these Orisha, when we talk of them, they no date, or one could say the area, but you cannot, and they didn't die, they just left. They don't have grave. They left like that. So that is the first set, and all other Orishas started coming 16 numbers. So that, but the whole place was full of water. But they say that, Okun is big, that it's endless. But also, that's how it is with the river as well. And Olokun is originator of big. But Okun is distinct, like Oshun, that they go together like this, but Okun stays back. Olokun, Ajay, they stays, they have their life on their own, but still they are among Orishas. and we do appeasement for them.
I also wondered when Yelshun taught me that Ifa or Orumila, when he travels about, he stays the longest at the ocean. And I wondered what that meant.
Yes, distance as well as you could see how ocean is big. You know, it's very big space, and you know that made him to stay longer there. And we learned that Olokun is the last wife of Orunmila.
Okay, so it's because she's the favorite young wife.
No, it doesn't matter. You know, we don't use it. We use that. It's a spiritual word of that. But, you know, the Orishas, they work to make life. You know, they have the ability. Like Ogun will always work to prevent accident, to prevent war. Shango to control because you could see how the thunder comes with high voltage. Because when it's real lightning, one should not look. You know, it happened in one area closer to Shogbo. Like the couple, they have their poultry, but when the lightning was coming, the woman looked up. Shango just struck her down, and she carried baby. And this, the family came, you know, they are the kind, you know, they came, even being Muslim, they had to come to the priest and priestesses of Shango that this happened. And when the Shango priest and priestesses came, they saw that it's the fear that the woman was so scared, but one should not look Shango directly, and she saw him, and that's what brought her down. But they could not save her. But the baby, nothing happened to the baby. So that when the lightning or thunder is coming, it's not good to look directly, because if one should see his energy at that time, it's not, one will not be able to stand it. So that's how we do appeasement, to control the level of high voltage for him not to be annoyed. So that is how it is. You know, all of them, they are busy to make life good. Like you could see the professors here, they hardly sleep. It's to make things better. So that's how the Orisha, they are doing to make life. You know, they hardly have time for their own. You know, like the professors here, they are making life better also because they invoke their spiritual and physical energy to make things better for academics. Likewise, the Orisha, they are doing for life. So that's how it is with the example. They are busy in their various fields of life.
I see your spiritual godchild is waiting anxiously to see you and talk to you. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good conversation. Did everybody notice I'm the only male in the room?
There was one earlier.
Oh, who?
The other man.
Who?
He was here.
Oh, he was here? Okay.
You're doing a good job balancing the energies.
You see it?
You're doing it.
The feed, I'm going, tell me that.
Oh, hey, come on. that you could come.
Yeah.
Why didn't you bring your husband?